Hello, Klaus.
Hello, Robert.
And hello,
nice to meet you.
Yeah, welcome to our third episode of Fun with RELUX. Today we have a more technical topic, which is the name false color or pseudo colors. This means we want to talk today about what can RELUX do, how has RELUX in the past dealt with false colors in order to express values of illuminance or luminance or other values. And false colors are quite idle to have a visualization of numbers of values directly, directly to the impression on what values we have to deal. And before we start with going in, first of all, Klaus, how does RELUX deals or has dealt with false colors in the past?
Yes, we have started half a year ago. We have changed our strategy how we handle the false color. In the beginning of our today session, I want to show you how RELUX works in the history. And for that, I will share my screen and show you now at first a real old version of RELUX. This was RELUX in the year 2002. And when we take a look to the false color results, you will see that it not really is false color, it's just grayscale. The reason for that is very simple. At that time, the color printers are really expensive, and the most people preferred black and white printouts. And at that time, we have just the possibility to set a grayscale, which is fixed by 5 values. You had just the possibility to set the levels manually, and that is what was the beginning in how we handle the false color in RELUX. And then
which was not so bad. We have the
yes.
grayscale, so white is bright, so we have more light on the white areas, and more gray or more black means there's more darkness, there's less light. And this is quite good for an interpretation of it. So you can see quite spontaneously how bright it is on the areas.
Yes, I totally agree with you. It is also very smart and still useful. And then I now make it a small jump in the year 2004, I guess, when I say correctly. I guess this is the version RELUX. Okay, sorry.
Old version.
Yeah. Old version. I'm not handled. I just want to click here. It was okay. The version 3.5.12. Yes, I guess this was. In the year 2003 or something like that. And at that time we start with colors, but still there was just the possibility to use at least only 5 values, and now you have the possibility with the colors. There was also the possibility to change the color if needed. And then in the year 2007, we have now the possibility to create multiple rooms in one project. In the further versions, it was not possible. You have just the possibility to have one scene in one RELUX project file. Now we have the possibility to have multiple rooms in the project files. And I have now here in my example 2 rooms. One is the office, and the other one is
corridor.
A corridor. Thank you. It's a corridor, and typically we will plan the corridors and the offices on different levels of illuminance. And so for the office, we have, for example, here 500 lux, as typically we have it, and in the corridor, moment here. I have typically 100 lux, but the false color pictures looks as if they have all the same brightness, the same level of looks. You will see it in the scale. There is, on the one side, we have the green, for example, is from 100 to 150, and on the other side, it's from 500 to 150. But from the optical side, from a human who looks on these windows, it looks a little bit as if they have the same level.
Yep. And this was reality for a lot of years in RELUX, that you have always similar outputs in false colors. Looks like this, what we have now on the screen. So this was the typical RELUX output, that you have this false colors, also exactly the same colors, the same 6 colors, which we have seen in this 2003, 2004 version of RELUX all the time. Just the scale is changing. So this was the past from today, that we have the same impression, which was kind of familiar. So it was cozy to have the same result screens over and over. But it's hard to get how bright or how many illuminance you have with this false colors, because you need to see the scale. The scale is switching. So in the past, the scale was a range from what kind of values you have, and was a range out of the middle of these values. Yeah.
So, and now we will make a jump from the year 2007 into today, in our new version,
which we published 2020 on the second part. Yeah. Since this, we have changed this false color scale totally, quite deep.
And I will now open the project, which I show you in the version before. I have now to recalculate, but also realize that it is still open, that it's still possible to open also a project which is created in the version 2007. I run a calculation. For both rooms, and in the first moment when I open the output, I have the same scale. I have scaled the scale from the old program, and I will now switch to our new strategy for the false colors. And for that, we have now here the possibility to press reset. When I press reset, I will go to the default, which you will get when you start with the new version. When you make a new project, then you will get now this false color scale. And we have now changed from a very limited range of colors to a large range of color. We have our levels, which are typical for the technical light planning, for the needs for a technical light planner. Mm-hmm. So a range from levels below 1 lux up to a level from 7,500 lux in the steps as they are recommended in the standards. And so we have now the possibility, if I change this, as it happens when I press my reset button, mm-hmm. I will also set here a range for the scaling.
Yeah, this reset button is new. So this is also from the last year version, we have implemented this reset button in order to have the same universal scale from 0 really to high value 7,500 to have it resetted again. So if you mess up, if you change your own values, if you go originally in the scale, which you can do still, then you can have the reset the initial complete total scale. So this looks different now, Klaus.
And now this looks different, but we will now have the possibility to see that the color is here in the range. The green color, the bright green color, is here from 3 to 500, is the same as in my corridor. And so if I have large projects with multiple rooms, not just with the 2 as in my example here, we hope that it is much more helpful for the users to understand their results, their values, and it gives you much more possibility of by using the false color output and interpreting the false color output.
This is one scale as I said, from really the complete range of illumination or luminance or daylight factors, whatever, the complete range. And this is one scale for all the scenes, for all the rooms, for all the scenes. We have one universal scale which helps you to identify brightness levels directly by a color. So a color has the same meaning on each individual, on each scene, totally about the complete project or multiple projects. This means if you use a scale and do not change it, you can of course change the color individually. You can do whatever you want with the scale still. But if you stick to this initial scale, and if you keep in mind, okay, something which is green is up from 300 lux. This means if you identify somewhere in green color, this means this is always over 300 lux. So this is the benefit, that you can see now directly on the color what level you have. And of course, as I said, Klaus is showing it, you can change this color to whatever you want. You can create your own scales in your own values, and you can store it as a variant of the scale. And but we recommend to use our new universal scale, because we set a lot of energy and effort into creating it. We have done a lot of samples of this universal scale. We had a lot of discussions about the values in the scale. We have looked into all the standards and all the recommendation guidelines, etc., which values are needed completely from indoor to outdoor, whatever. And we had also a lot of discussions about the colors of this scale steps. And this is the best result we have after a lot of discussions. And we have a good feeling about this universal scale and recommend the usage of it. What you also can see, what Klaus has on the side, is we can shrink down the legend by a minimum and by a maximum value. This means you can display in scale which is larger than the colors you have in the scene. This is possible with the stick.
If I switch it off, then you will only see here in the range only the colors which are in your actual scene are shown. So it's a little bit what you prefer, what's for your case is better or something like that.
Yeah, it's still the same scale, but different part of it in the different scenes.
Just for the legend. And we have here, at the moment, we will just see the scale for the illuminances, but inside of the program, when we make a daylight calculation, for example, then you will have also the possibility you have a separate scale for the daylight factor and as well for the luminance false color values.
Yeah, for all the candelars per square meters, you have also a new scale, which is universal all over the scenes.
And then also new in our new version is the possibility to use the false color not only in the printout and on the 2D side, we have also the possibility to show it in 3D. And here we can now go to view and also activate the false color, and you will see the same false color view inside of your 3D editing window, which helps you, which supports you during your planning process.
Yeah, this is great to search for certain values or search for certain uniformities or colors which interpretates an value. You have it also in 3D. You can zoom to it. You can get it closer and you get the area which is selected on the project tree. This area is represented with the false colors if you ticked it in the ribbon. And also a new feature since the version 2022 is also the threshold or boundary line tool. Because in respect of this false color universal scale, if you want to hunt down a certain value, if you want to see which values has exactly 1 lux or below, or which values are exactly at 10 lux or 300 lux, whatever, if you search a certain value in your design, if you want to have a good uniformity and want to identify a low value, etc., in the past you have converted, you have transformed the false color scale to something which is interesting to you. So the 10 lux is 1 lux value. You have bended and converted the complete false color scale. And we wanted to have this the universal false color scale as it is, as a recommendation. So this means there was space for a new tool, which we called threshold tool, or boundary line, exactly for this reason, to find a threshold, to find a boundary between two different values. So this is in a way a second false color overlay and second false color scale, but just with two and a half values. So this means a value which is above, which is below of your interested value, and here in the scene in yellow, in tolerance level and tolerance value. And the tolerance you can also set in different ways. You can set to no tolerance, then you have just really below or above this value which you are interested in, which is here, for example, 600 lux. And also you can make an tolerance field where you can see, okay, here in this area, it's in my tolerance scale, and the rest is in a different color. And of course, you can also change the colors. You can change from red to something else. So in some cases, you have to switch green and red, and depends on which direction you are interested. So sometimes a lower value is wished, and not a higher value is wished, depending. And you have also a complete own output structure. You can make printouts just with this boundary line threshold tool. You can also have an overlay in 3D of this threshold tool. So you have you have the same possibilities, the same features and functions as you have with the complete false color scale. So as a mini false color scale for individually fast trackings of values. Something to add? No?
Yes, we hope you enjoy these new features, especially so this new strategy in handling these false colors. We have made this also because the people more and more working on greater projects with multiple rooms where you are planning with various levels, maybe sometimes interior and exterior scenes mixed in one project. And we hope so that it will help you. And we will close the session or this screen sharing with a last flick of the past of our early version. And we are now ready to answer some questions of you, if you have some, and still hope you enjoy these new features.
Good.
Okay.
So we are ready for your questions. So the rest of the session related deal with your questions, if you have a couple of questions. If not, it's also fine. If you don't have questions, also fine with us. Okay, no questions. Good, this means you have understood and we have explained it quite well. What is about our old and new pseudo color style?
A few are now coming in, but this is just incomplete question. How I can
calculate
Claire. Okay, this is something different about
it's nothing to deal with
false colors, but you will find when you go to insert measuring in the option and ribbon insert measuring objects, there you will find Claire observers like the GR observer, TE observer, UGR observer, and so on. I hope this helps you.
We should do an own session just for glaring. There's a lot of glaring topics we can deal in the. So we have now here a question. Is pseudo color also available for the Revit plugin?
Yes, of course. This is also in our new version. We have also now the possibility to handle directly as well complete calculations without opening the RELUX desktop, and as well to create false color heat maps inside of in the plugin of Revit.
Also quite new feature because it's out for 4 or 6 weeks in this range. So we have a new RELUX CAD for Revit. It's the name of our Revit add-on, and we have implemented the complete radiosity calculation, so and photometric calculation point-to-point directly in Revit, and with this we have also implemented the false color visualization directly in Revit. Thanks for this question, Carolina. Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Not much questions today.
One asked for the glare rating in natural light. Please contact our support for these detailed questions about such features.
Yeah. Yeah, so in this session we deal with false color, and especially glaring is a topic where we can fill and complete or more than one session with glare stuff, especially glare in natural light.
But maybe it is an idea for another episode of Fun with RELUX, especially for glare rating, because it is also a very interesting point and needs a little bit sometimes explanations why some things work as it works.
Yeah, especially glaring is super topic. Yeah, we have to say that we have in the next month, in August, we have not a Fun with RELUX session because we have vacation. So Klaus and me will be in holidays for not a complete month, but parts of it we are not in the office and not here at the RELUX headquarters. But we will see us again in this Fun with RELUX format in September. Probably with a topic about outputs and results and result values. So this is not fixed down 100%, but this is the direction we are thinking about our next episode, and it will happen somewhere in September. We have not a fixed date, so stay tuned on our website on the news about the next date for the session. Yeah, that's all what I have.
Yeah. We hope you also enjoyed our episode today, and we're looking forward to see you next time in September.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Have a nice summer.